Shri Sai Satcharita, How Govind Became Hemadpant. Shri Govind R. Dabholkar, also known as Hemadpant, undertakes the task of writing Baba's Leelas, fully aware of his own limitations in capturing the vastness of Baba's grandeur, the profundity of his teachings, and the divine mission for which he took a human form. He humbly admits that he is neither a saint nor a scholar, unable even to sketch the image of his closest friend, let alone express the thoughts of a saint's mind. He says that while it may be possible to measure the waters of the seven seas or cover the vast sky with cloth, understanding the true nature of a saint remains beyond human comprehension. And yet, it is God Himself who has kindled Hemadpant's heart with the inspiration to write, granting him the courage to undertake this task as an act of service to his beloved Baba. Hemadpant is aware that such a bold endeavor may expose him to criticism and ridicule. But if it is Baba himself who has commissioned this writing, then he has nothing to fear. He will simply offer himself as an instrument, allowing Baba to narrate his own life through him. Hemadpant refers to Mahipati, who, like himself, was divinely inspired to write about the lives of saints. Mahipati's 4 celebrated works include Bhakta Vijaya, Sant Vijaya, Bhakta Lilamrut, and Sant Lilamrut. Similarly, Das Ganu Maharaj composed Bhakta Lilamrut, which recounts the enthralling life of Sai Baba, and Sant Kathamrut, a captivating narration of Baba's spiritual instructions to a devotee. His many poems on Baba fill readers with immense joy and profound peace. Raghunath and Savitri Tendulkar compiled their personal experiences with Baba in the form of a Raghunath Savitri Bhajan Mala. Amidas Bhavanidas Mehta narrated Baba's miraculous deeds in Gujarati. Many other eminent devotees also shared their divine experiences in a collection titled Sai Prabha. With so much literature on Sai Baba already in existence, one may wonder, what is the need for yet another book? Anticipating this question in the minds of his readers, Hemadpant offers a simple yet powerful explanation. Sai Baba's life is like an infinite ocean from which precious jewels can be drawn endlessly for the upliftment of all. No matter how many times his stories are told, they will always evoke an insatiable thirst for more. These divine narratives ease worldly sorrows, bring steadiness to the mind, and fill the heart with deep inner contentment. Be it the desire to achieve oneness with Brahman, proficiency in eightfold yoga, or the blissful state of samadhi, listening to Baba's Leelas, devotees will be able to receive all that they seek from Baba. For those who never had the good fortune of seeing Baba in person, they will serve as a means of darshan, bestowing grace and spiritual merit. Having shared the spiritual calling behind his writing, Hemadpant offers his collection of Baba's Leelas like fragrant flowers strung into a garland, an offering of worship at the feet of Baba himself. Hemadpant then recounts how he sought the help of Madhavrao Deshpande, affectionately known as Shama, to obtain Baba's permission to write this book. Shama shared a deep and intimate bond with Baba. He was to Baba what Nandi is to Lord Shiva. Devotees often conveyed their requests through Shama, knowing that Baba would be more inclined to listen when their desires were voiced by his beloved and trusted disciple. Shama told Baba, "This Anasaheb wants to write your life story. Don't say that you are a poor, begging fakir and that there is no need to write it. Baba, You are a diamond that must be set in a socket. After Shama's persuasion, Baba agreed to bless Hemadpant's endeavor. Placing his hand on Hemadpant's head, Baba gave him Udi as prasad. He asked Hemadpant to collect all the genuine stories, experiences, interactions, and talks and said,
अहंवृत्ती जेव्हा मुरे तेव्हा तयाचा ठावरी नुरे मीच मग मीपणे संचरे माझ्याची करे लिहीन मी.
when ego and conceit are completely dissolved, leaving not the slightest trace, it is then that I will dwell in the devotee and write the book with my own hand. Speaking of the reward the devotees will derive from reading these stories, Baba said,
भक्तासी निजरूप ज्ञान जीव शिवा समाधान लक्षेल अलक्ष्य निर्गुण चैतन्यघन प्रगटेल.
the devotee will gain self-realization, harmonizing his jiva, Atman, with Shiva, Brahman. He will comprehend the incomprehensible, the attributeless Supreme Spirit, as it reveals itself to him. Baba continued to speak on who would not be worthy of the self-knowledge. One, who is engulfed in ignorance and Maya. One, whose mind is engaged in malicious thoughts. One, who maintains an obstinate point of view and refutes others' opinions. Presenting two opposing perspectives to prove that one is superior to the other is a futile effort for a sincere spiritual seeker. These words of Baba reminded Hemadpant of how the name Himad had been given to him by Baba. Born as Govindrao Dabholkar, he was bestowed with the name Hemadpant in 1910, both as a compliment for his cleverness and a playful jab at his sense of superiority. The story originates from Hemadpant's doubt about the role of a guru. Once, the son of a close friend fell gravely ill despite being strong, healthy, and virtuous. Hoping for a miraculous recovery, the friend requested his guru to sit beside the ailing boy and bless him. However, the boy eventually passed away. Hemadpant, who had planned to visit Shirdi that very day at the urging of his dear friend Kaka Sahib Dixit, cancelled his trip upon hearing the news. His mind became clouded with grief and doubt. Is there any point in going to Shirdi? What is the true benefit of a guru? What can a guru do when everything is already predestined? These thoughts plagued Hemadpant, leading him to surrender to fate and abandon the pursuit of a guru. Ironically, it was this very surrender to fate that ultimately led him to Baba. No matter how much he resisted, it was his destiny that pulled him to Shirdi and to Sai Baba. After some time had passed, a friend of Hemadpant's, Nana Sahib Chandukar, took him to task for not having visited Shirdi. He urged him to seek Sai's darshan and overcome his wavering resolve. Nana's loving insistence rekindled Hemadpant's desire to see Baba, and he set out for Shirdi that very evening. Hemadpant boarded a train to Dadar, intending to transfer to the Manmad mail from there. Manmad was the nearest railway station to Shirdi. As the train was pulling out of the platform, a Muslim co-passenger climbed aboard and, noticing Hemadpant's luggage, casually inquired about his destination. When Hemadpant shared his travel plans, the co-passenger cautioned him not to disembark at Dadar, advising instead that he continue to Victoria Terminus. He explained that the Manmad mail did not stop at Dadar, but did halt at Victoria Terminus, from where passengers bound for Shirdi could board. Had this timely advice not come Hemadpant's way, he would have missed his connection to Shirdi, and his mind once again might have questioned the very purpose of his trip. Thankfully, that was not to be, and Hemadpant arrived in Shirdi the following morning, where Kaka Sahib Dixit was waiting to receive him. It was the year 1910 when Hemadpant first stepped foot in Shirdi. As he alighted from his tonga in front of Seate's Wada, the only lodging available to visitors at that time, his heart surged with joy. He couldn't wait to see his Baba. Baba had drawn yet another sparrow to him. Just then, Tatia Sahib Nulkar, one of Baba's ardent devotees, passed by and urged Hemadpant to quickly take Baba's darshan. Baba was on his way to Lendi Bagh and had already reached the corner of Sate's Wada. It seemed that Baba, through his divine omniscience, had become aware of Hemadpant's arrival in Shirdi and was facilitating their meeting by coming into such close proximity. Baba had always known the pivotal role Hemadpant was destined to play in the propagation of Sai Bhakti. Though his book was still 20 years away, Baba had already identified him as its future author. Hemadpant rushed to prostrate at Baba's feet. Seeing Baba's physical form standing before him, Hemadpant could hardly contain his joy. His eyes had fulfilled their purpose. His senses stood still. He forgot hunger and thirst as he stood awestruck in the aura of the great saint. Hemadpant later wrote that Sai Darshan has the power to bring about a complete transformation in a person, burning lifetimes of accumulated karma and turning the soul towards a life of virtuous conduct. Later that day, a heated debate erupted between Hemadpant and Balasaheb Bhatte on the necessity of having a guru. Hemadpant argued that one should not surrender their independence or intellectual agency to a guru's command. A man, he said, must fend for himself, using his own body and mind, because even a guru cannot help someone who is lazy. In contrast, a few others, along with Balasaheb Bhatte, who had only recently come under Baba's shelter despite earlier resistance, insisted that even the most learned men cannot attain liberation without the grace of a guru. Hemadpant took the side of free will and human effort, while his opponents emphasized the supremacy of destiny and the importance of surrender to a higher force. The discussion continued intensely for 45 minutes, ending without resolution. But it left Hemadpant's mind deeply disturbed. That evening, when Hemadpant and a few other devotees visited Baba at the masjid, Baba turned to Kakasaheb Dixit and asked, what was the discussion that took place in Sate's Wada? Everyone was astonished that Baba was so keenly aware of their earlier conversation. Then, looking at Govindrao Dabolkar, Baba said, what was this Hemadpant saying? Hemadpant. Why this name? Dabolkar recalled that Hemadpant was a brilliant minister in the 13th century Yadava dynasty, an astute statesman, skilled administrator, and a prolific author and poet of spiritual and religious texts. Baba had never read any historical books, yet he knew about Hemadpant. This alone revealed Baba's timeless existence, his presence spanning all eras, realms, and dimensions. Hemadpant humbly noted how unworthy he was compared to the great Hemadpant. Yet Baba had conferred this title upon him, not only to acknowledge his latent intelligence and future potential, but also to gently shatter the ego that had taken pride in winning debates and discussions. Baba had, time and again, dissuaded people from engaging in futile arguments born out of the desire to assert superiority. His sole aim was to elevate human consciousness, an evolution that could only be achieved through love, respect, tolerance, and the ability to see God in others. In Baba's world, There was no place for petty debates or intellectual showdowns, for such pursuits merely fed the ego and further entangled one in the web of Maya. Humbled by Baba's subtle yet powerful message, Hemadpant came to a profound realization. Having a guru was not just a necessity for spiritual progress, but a sacred relationship that anchors one's journey to truth. Even Sri Rama had to bow down to the feet of Guru Vasishtha, and Sri Krishna, who was Brahman itself, had to carry heavy logs of wood to Guru Sandipani's house and obey his tough commands.
साईची आपुली सुखसंपत्ती, साईच आपुली सुखसंवित्ती, साईच आपुली परमनिवृत्ती, अंतिम गती श्री साई.
Sai alone is our wealth. Sai is our consciousness of bliss. Sai is our ultimate detachment from the world. Our last refuge is Shri Sai. In the English translation of Shri Sai Satcharita by N. V. Gunaji, a reference is made to the notes left by Kakasaheb Dixit on the importance of a guru. The day after Hemadpant met Baba, Kakasaheb approached Baba to ask if he had his permission to leave Shirdi, perhaps for a short trip. Baba gave his consent. Then someone asked Baba, "Where should one go?" Baba replied, "High up." The man continued, "What is the way?" Baba answered, "There are many ways leading there. One way is also from Shirdi. The path is tough. There are many tigers and wolves lurking and rooting in the jungles." Kaka Saheb asked, "But what if we take a guide with us, Baba?" "Then you're safe. The guide will take you to your destination, avoiding tigers, wolves, and ditches. Without a guide, you may get lost in the jungle or fall into the ditches." This exchange between Baba and Kaka Saheb Dixit is a beacon of light for all Sai devotees. Baba tells us clearly that if we don't entrust ourselves in the hands of a guru, we are more likely to slip into the jaws of worldly bondage. Going alone, the path to liberation is very difficult, as with our shaky resolve and half-baked knowledge, we will most likely fall back into our old traps. However, if we have a guru's hand to hold, we will overcome all dangers and reach our destination with ease. With this concludes the commentary on the second chapter of Shri Sai Satcharita. Jaya Shri Sai.